In this video, we're going to explore how to list PCI and USB devices in Linux systems using command line tools. We'll focus on two primary commands, lspci and lsusb. lspci, represented by the computer icon, is used to list all the PCI devices on your system, and lsusb, represented by the plug icon, to list all the USB devices connected to your system. The lspci command lists all PCI, peripheral component interconnect, devices in the system. These devices include graphics cards, network adapters, and other internal hardware components. The lspci command is part of the lsusb package, which usually comes pre-installed on most Linux distributions. This command is especially useful for hardware troubleshooting, helping you identify devices that might not be functioning correctly or those that need driver updates. Here's an example of basic usage. Type lspci in the terminal. The output shows a list of PCI devices, such as the host bridge, VGA-compatible controller, USB controller, and audio device, along with their vendor and device information. The lspci command offers several options to provide more detailed information. Let's look at some of the commonly used options. The first option is VV, or VVV. These options increase the verbosity level, showing more detailed information about each device. For example, lspci will display additional details about the devices. Next, we have the K option. This shows the kernel drivers handling each device and the kernel modules capable of handling it. This is useful for checking if the correct drivers are loaded. Type lspci K in the terminal to use it. Next, we have an N. This option shows both the device names and the numeric IDs, including vendor and device codes. This is helpful for uniquely identifying hardware. Use it by typing lspci in N. Lastly, we have the D option. This displays PCI devices in a tree-like diagram, showing the bus hierarchy. This is useful for understanding how devices are connected. Type lspci to see the tree structure. Let's explore some practical examples of using the lspci command. First, finding graphics card information. To list all graphics cards with detailed information, you can use the command lspci pipe to grep A8VGA. This filters the output to show VGA-compatible controllers and the 8 lines following each match, providing comprehensive details about the graphics card including the kernel driver in use, such as i915 in this example. Next, finding network adapter information. To list all network controllers, use the command lspci pipe to grep inet. This command lists all devices identified as network controllers, such as a wireless AC9560 and a Realtek Ethernet controller. The lsusb command lists all USB, universal serial bus, devices connected to the system. This includes USB drives, keyboards, mice, and other peripherals. The lsusb command is part of the lsusb package, which usually comes pre-installed on most Linux distributions. It helps in identifying USB device issues, such as devices not being recognized or malfunctioning. Here's an example of basic usage. Type lsusb in the terminal. The output shows a list of USB devices, including their IDs and descriptions, such as the Linux Foundation Root Hub, Intel Corp, Logitech Unifying Receiver, and more. The lsusb command also provides several options for more detailed information about USB devices. Let's explore some of these options. First, V. This option displays verbose information about USB devices, including configurations, interfaces, and endpoints. This is useful for detailed analysis of USB device capabilities. Next, T. This option shows USB devices in a tree-like diagram, displaying the USB bus topology. This helps visualize how devices are connected to the USB hubs. Next, D, followed by vendor frowny face product. This option shows only devices with the specified vendor and product ID. You need to replace vendor and product with actual vendor and product IDs to get more specific results. Lastly, S followed by bus, devnum. This option shows only devices on a specified bus and/or device number. Let's see some practical examples of using the lsusb command. First, viewing the USB device tree. To display USB devices in a tree structure, use the command lsusb. This shows the hierarchy of USB buses and connected devices. Next, finding a specific USB device. To find a specific USB device, like a Logitech device, you can use the command lsusb pipe to grep iLogitech. This filters the output to show only the lines containing Logitech devices, highlighting the vendor and product IDs, such as 046D:C52B in this example. Let's explore some practical use cases for the lspci and lsusb commands. First, hardware troubleshooting. You can identify hardware that's not functioning properly by checking if it's detected by the system using the command lspciv piped to grep Ethernet. This can help diagnose network card issues. Next, driver installation. You can find hardware details needed to locate and install the correct drivers using the command lspci pipe to grep A3VGA. This helps identify the specific VGA controller and associated kernel drivers. Next, USB device monitoring. You can track when USB devices are connected or disconnected from the system using the command watchin1 lsusb. This command refreshes the list of USB devices every 1 second. Finally, system inventory. Create a comprehensive list of hardware components for documentation by using the command lspci and redirecting the output to a file named hardware_inventory.txt. Let's summarize the key takeaways from this video. The lspci command lists PCI devices such as graphics cards and network adapters. The lsusb command lists USB devices such as storage devices and peripherals. Both commands are helpful for hardware troubleshooting. Also, various options provide detailed information. Now let's talk about additional resources. You can use the command man lspci to see the manual page for the lspci command. Similarly, man lsusb command to see the manual page for the lsusb command. You can also explore the Linux documentation project. You can also refer to the USB utils and PCI utils packages. If you like this video, hit that like button and don't forget to subscribe. Visit codelucky.com for more such useful content.